Live, local. Fox 12 News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to this special edition of the 6 o'clock news. I'm Pete Ferryman. First on Fox, it's been a couple of days since hundreds of ballots were destroyed at ballot boxes in the Pacific Northwest, and authorities now have leads on a suspect. Since then, local elections offices are increasing security, and some voters are even changing their habits. Fox 12's Carly Olson has the latest updates.
I'm getting it in and it's done and I feel good about my vote.
Kelly Guild visited the ballot slot on the side of the Multnomah County Library in Northwest Portland, an option she now feels is safer.
I like it because it's not a box, it's a building, so I just feel like it's a little bit more secure.
It's really a shame.
Sean Haggerty from Northeast Portland put his ballot in the slot at the county elections building, also opting for greater security after the events of Monday morning.
It shakes you, right? I mean, to now have to be concerned and worry about the safety of your vote if you really want your vote to be tallied and counted.
On Wednesday, Portland police announced a description of the suspect they believe put incendiary devices on ballot boxes, destroying a few ballots in Southeast Portland and hundreds in Vancouver. They described him as a Caucasian male between 30 and 40 years old with short hair or balding with a thin to medium build. They say he was wearing a dark shirt and is highly knowledgeable in metal fabrication and welding. Both incendiary devices were marked with the message "Free Gaza," though authorities are still unsure if the suspect was actually motivated by pro-Palestinian views. This, according to a law enforcement official who spoke with the Associated Press.
Monday really showed us that our security plan worked.
Tim Scott with the Multnomah County Elections Office says their security teams have now doubled their patrols along with police surveillance. And he says voters are still using the boxes just as much as other methods ahead of Election Day.
Yesterday we got almost 30,000 ballots back in the mail. So we're starting to see that turnout increase. It's really important to me that people know that we have a plan and it's a good plan, and we're going to keep moving this election forward as we're required to do by law.
Even so, authorities believe the suspect could potentially strike again. And the group Crime Stoppers of Oregon is now offering a $2,500 reward to anyone who can provide a tip that will lead to an arrest. Carly Olson, Fox 12 Oregon.
Election day is fast approaching, and businesses in downtown Portland are already preparing for potential unrest. Fox 12's McKenna Marks tells us how business owners are feeling and how police plan to handle any potential uprising.
We are now less than a week away from Election Day, and Portland police say they are ready to respond to any kind of civil unrest. Even so, businesses in downtown Portland say they are worried about a repeat of violent riots and criminal activity.
Everybody's talking about Portland. Everybody's looking at Portland. Still, to this day, 4 years later, everybody wants to know how we're going to show up, how we're going to be. And I think this is our time, and it's represented by the great people all around this room.
The Portland Police Bureau was joined by community partners for a news conference on Wednesday, where they outlined their plans to tackle any kind of potential criminal activity brought on by the upcoming election. Businesses in downtown Portland are already preparing for another round of riots and potential looters. The Chase Bank in Pioneer Square has boarded up its windows, and the owner of a local jewelry store tells me that since 2020, they've upped their security measures.
It was an experience I hope we never have to experience again. It was terrible.
Alex Telekub owns Medallion Jewelers and is worried they may be targeted if a protest triggered by the election turns violent. He tells me that during a riot sparked by the death of George Floyd back in 2020, his store was looted.
We came in after we saw the news on the TV after midnight that this area especially was being hit. We jumped in our car, came down here, and we had to chase people out of the store.
Despite these concerns from business owners, Portland Police Chief Bob Day says he feels confident.
I'm not laying awake at night worried about next week.
While people are allowed to organize peacefully, Day says any kind of violence or criminal activity will not be tolerated. Day says PPB is working with numerous agencies to keep the community safe come Election Day.
Will there be an event? There could be, but we're prepared for that.
And local businesses say they will be relying on the police to keep things under control.
I'm really hopeful that Portland Police will have the upper hand and have a good grip on this and control it.
As we get closer to Election Day, Portland Police want to remind the community that if they see any kind of suspicious activity, to report it. In downtown Portland, McKenna Marks, Fox 12 Oregon.
Some voters in Coos County may be missing their ballots due to some issues with the Postal Service. The Coos County clerk issued a statement yesterday saying an error with the USPS is causing delays in the arrival of ballots. They say if you have not received your ballot yet, don't count on it arriving. Instead, you should contact the county elections office. The Oregon Secretary of State's office is trying to determine what's causing the delays, but they say it appears to be human error as opposed to an intentional or malicious act. The countdown begins. Election Day is less than a week away. Meantime, we will cover the political stories that impact you the most. I sat down with the top 5 candidates in the race for Portland mayor. You can watch those full, unedited interviews on our website at kptv.com. A son is grieving the loss of his mother after she was run over by a car in southeast Portland last week. Portland police say the driver contacted investigators, but the case remains open. Her son spoke with Fox 12's Paulina Aguilar.
Isaiah celebrated his 20th birthday yesterday, the first without his mother. He said it was a difficult day without having her by his side.
Just live your life to the fullest every day. You never know when you're going to get a phone call like that.
Isaiah Taylor is mourning the loss of his mother, 41-year-old Christy Lafferty. Taylor says he was at work when his girlfriend, Abby, called him.
She called me and told me to come home. My mom was in an accident. So I just got home as soon as I could and just tried to hope for the best.
On October 24th, just before 1:30 a.m., Portland police arrived at Southeast Stark Street and Southeast 99th to find Lafferty in the street. Police believe she was clinging to the outside of a moving vehicle, fell off, and was run over. A Good Samaritan ran over to help and called 911. She was hospitalized with bruised lungs and facial fractures.
She has a broken left arm, so it's the back shoulder blade to the top bone over here. She has around 4 fractured ribs on the left side. She burst her bladder during the impact, so when they brought her to the hospital, they rushed her for emergency surgery.
But Lafferty died the next day.
She meant everything to me. I just talk to her every day. I live with her. She's just always there for me when you need her. She's the most funniest person. She will always have your back no matter what.
Taylor had his 20th birthday on Tuesday and reflects on the happy moments they had together.
We were thinking about last year on her birthday when she comes running down those stairs and runs in the living room and happy birthday! All jumping around, jumping on top of him. She's just over enthusiastic about everything, you know.
His first birthday without his mother.
My one wish yesterday was to just have my mom back, but she's not coming back.
Isaiah tells me he's in the process of planning a celebration of life at the beach, a place his mother loved. If you'd like to help, you can find his GoFundMe on our website at kptv.com. In Southeast Portland, Paulina Aguilar, Fox 12 Oregon.
Heartbreaking situation. Paulina, thank you. The Oregon Department of Education has now released new guidance on cell phone policy. This comes as schools and districts across the state navigate how to reduce cell phone use in the classroom. The guidance is recommending all 197 school districts review and update their cell phone policies to restrict use during school hours. The state is recommending that phones be turned off and left in backpacks or lockers during the school day, or in magnetic lock pouches like the Yonder pouches being implemented in several Portland and Salem-Keizer schools. The department does recommend allowing exceptions in case of emergencies. A Gresham High School student is facing criminal charges after making social media posts threatening to carry out a school shooting. The threat was posted last night, just hours after the school district held a safety summit. Police say a 15-year-old student posted several pictures and videos of guns making threats. A community member reported the post to Gresham officers. The FBI helped officers identify the student behind that threat. After an investigation, officers determined that the threat was a hoax. Well, as we mentioned last night, those parents and officials in Gresham gathered for that meeting about safety just weeks after a student was found with a loaded gun inside Gresham High School. And yesterday, officials talked about the measures in place and the work that's being done to increase security. That includes the use of an app called Safe Oregon. Students can use it to anonymously report anything from bullying to weapons on campus. One notable safety measure missing was student resource officers. Police say they just don't have the resources to hire SROs for every school. However, police are able to assign one person to act as a school liaison for all Gresham schools.
An individual that can work with all those schools, the various school districts, in a way that at least provides connectivity to information and information sharing, continue to build on best practices.
And this all comes after Gresham High School got a new principal. As we've reported, the previous principal resigned amid criticism that the school did not do enough during last month's gun scare. The first case of a severe form of bird flu has been discovered in a pig on a small Oregon farm. This is the first confirmed case in Crook County. Last week, we told you two cases of human infections were found in Washington, but this is the first time that the virus has been transmitted to pigs in the United States. Federal officials at the National Veterinary Services Laboratories confirmed the presence of the strain in one of 5 pigs on the farm. They're still waiting for results on the other 4 pigs. Meantime, all 5 pigs were euthanized to prevent further spread. This is the same farm where the Oregon Department of Agriculture euthanized 70 infected birds last week. A quarantine was placed on the property. According to the Animal Plant Health Inspection Service, detections are higher in the fall and spring because wild birds spreading the virus are migrating to their seasonal homes. The CDC has confirmed that slivered onions are likely the source of McDonald's E. coli outbreak. The news comes as the number of infections continues to rise. As of today, 15 new illnesses were reported, bringing the total to 90. 27 people have been hospitalized, and the most recent illness was reported on October 16th. The CDC says all new illnesses happened before McDonald's removed onions from several of its locations. If you have severe symptoms of E. coli, you should get medical help and tell your doctor exactly what you ate. While we've had some rainy and gloomy weather today, the changing of the leaves has really brought a pop of color out. The folks at the Portland Japanese Garden say they'll see their peak fall colors this week. Fox 12's Spencer Schott got to stop by today to check it out.
Tucked away in the sea of green that is Washington Park, the Portland Japanese Garden is now a wash of color. Even in the rain, many photographers flock to the garden to try to get that perfect fall shot.
There's so many areas. I mean, it's hard to pick just one, but this is definitely on the top of my list. So
James West has been a hobby photographer since he was 17. Today, he drove in from Longview, Oregon, just to get a chance to shoot these trees at their peak.
A couple hours was spare, so I came up and got a call my new lens was in, went and grabbed it, came back, and here we are, shooting in the rain.
Tracking the color change isn't an exact science.
We look at the colors year by year. We have a fall color tracker. It's really helpful for us to look back and see, okay, at this moment, a lot of our maples have turned this really bright orange color. We're starting to see a lot of yellows and reds throughout the landscape. This feels like peak fall to us.
And it's hard to say how long these leaves will stick around, especially in this weather.
Obviously, we get a substantial downpour over the course of a few days or heavy winds. Leaves are really resilient, but they can only hang on for so long, and they're going to drop anyway.
Lerner says they expect the bright colors to last throughout the week. But as West pointed out, a lot can change day to day, so he's getting whatever shots he can.
We were here last week, and the colors were good. And then I found out from their online that the colors were peaking, and they're gorgeous. Great. So, yeah, it's been a good day.
In Portland, Spencer Schott, Fox 12 Oregon.
Good stuff, Spencer. Thank you, sir. Well, falling foliage is a reminder to check the condition of your yard and take care of maintenance issues around your home ahead of winter storms. Pacific Power recommends checking trees ahead of time because fallen branches often lead to power outages. And if you plan on pruning your trees, be careful. Pruning trees involves selectively removing branches, buds, or roots. Pacific Power says that you should never use pruning tools or ladders near power lines. Always stay at least 10 feet away from overhead power lines. And you should never try to remove a branch that's tangled or lying across a power line. Call Pacific Power instead. You can find more safety tips by visiting the website pacificpower.net. Okay, it's time to check in with Mr. Mark Nelson for your first alert forecast. And it's one of those times when people are watching the forecast carefully because we've got Halloween coming up.
Less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
I heard, I don't know if this happens at your house, but one of our producers was saying that that kids show up at their house like as soon as school is out, like 4 o'clock.
You know,
have you ever had them show up before it gets dark?
Yes. Our neighborhood is
Okay.
is pretty crazy.
So things have accelerated since my experience with my kids.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay, so be ready, Pete.
Okay, I will.
Make sure you got the candy out.
Okay.
All right, so Halloween forecast, Big E here, folks, is it's just going to be wet. Okay, let's hope we can avoid huge downpours, but there are going to be plenty of showers. We're going to call it showers around, this is at 5 p.m. tomorrow evening. Then we go 2 hours later to 7 p.m. This is kind of prime time here. Still showery, but wait, there's more at 9 p.m. Yeah, still wet. Basically, temperatures will be cool, upper 40s to around 50, and it'll just be showering all around the region. Scattered showers moving about. Right now, we've got some pretty hefty showers just to the north of the metro area, just to the north of downtown, I should say. Boy, sunset tonight is before 5 p.m. By Sunday, we'll have a sunset, before 6 p.m. On Sunday, our sunset will be before 5 p.m. So it's going to get dark in the evenings very quickly now. So 50 degrees out there right now. Lights of the city starting to come up. Salem looks like you have a hefty shower just to the left here, so that'd be to the east of the city. 50 degrees there. So scattered showers continue tonight. Just at any time there could be a shower, but then if you're watching the radar, hopefully on our app, you can, if you want to go like walk the dog, go in between the showers. But mid-40s tonight. It will not be exceptionally chilly, but we have a cold front that moved across earlier in the day west side, and that steady rain is now moving across the Columbia Basin. We don't really have good radar coverage here, but I think it would show all green. And then you see these batches of showers moving through west side. Yeah, it's coming down pretty good from the middle of Vancouver all the way down through East Portland, slowly moving off to the east here. And we got more rain today. It's slowly adding up now, folks. We've definitely moved into the wet season, 1/3 of an inch, so we're up to about 2.6 inches. I think we're going to be pretty close to the October average of about 3.5 inches by the time we get to midnight tomorrow night, which is when the month ends. So bus stop forecast. Kids will be all excited tomorrow morning. 45 degrees when they're getting off the bus. They'll be even more excited, I suppose. With just a chance for a thunderstorm tomorrow. There could be a rumble of thunder. So not heavy flooding rain the next 2 days, but there's going to be a lot of rain, and there will be frequent showers these next 2 days, Thursday and Friday. It's going to stay chilly. Afternoon highs around 50. That's like the end of November or early December. It's only a few degrees warmer than, a winter rainy day. And then we think 10 to 20 inches of snow coming up in the Cascades. The lower amounts will be near the passes, higher amounts up at the ski areas. As we have this pool of unstable cold air, you kind of see the kind of popcorn look on the clouds. That's what's coming in. In fact, here's the forecast of the cloud cover and the rain and the snow. And look how tomorrow morning it's showery. Tomorrow midday it's showery. It looks like maybe more showers tomorrow afternoon than in the morning, but either way wet at any time. And then another slug of pretty solid rain Friday morning. We're watching this one closely to see if it could produce more significant rain, that would actually impact your life more. We will see about that, but the point is it stays wet. We think on Saturday it's some very light showers. Not as much Saturday, but I think there will be a few showers around. Check this out. We think at least 1 inch to 1.5 inches coming up in the next 2 days here. So your forecast for Halloween in Portland, yeah, it's going to be wet. I think most of the showers, the heavier showers, I should say, would be in the afternoon. Just a chance for a thunderstorm. Only 52 for high. 3-day forecast then. Looks like a morning soaking Friday, although there'll be plenty of showers later in the day too. A few showers, so not as wet Saturday. And we're watching Friday morning. Could there be significant wind or downpours somewhere in the valley? We're watching that pretty closely to see if it would be a first alert weather day. Sunday, though, mainly dry. Notice we did have the weekend dry at one point, so it's November. Expectations are low. And then more rain on Monday, although it looks like Monday, and we think we could have several days of dry weather in the middle of next week, and temperatures might warm up a bit, maybe a little above average. Pete?
Okay, Mark, thank you. Beaverton police are looking for Fox 12's Most Wanted, who's accused of posing as a contractor and scamming people. David Reinhardt faces charges of theft tonight. Police say he used his knowledge of construction to trick people in the Portland metro area out of money. We're told people hired him and he took their money without finishing the work. Reinhardt is not licensed by the Oregon Construction Contractors Board. Police say he may have more victims. If you know where he is, you're asked to contact Beaverton Police. It's a big step in the effort to bring Major League Baseball to Portland. Today, the City Council unanimously approved a resolution to support the Portland Diamond Project's attempt to build a new stadium in the South Waterfront neighborhood at Zidell Yards. The Portland Diamond Project is an organization that's been working to bring Major League Baseball to the city. The resolution, introduced by Mayor Ted Wheeler, highlights the social and economic benefits of bringing a Major League Baseball team to Portland. It also calls for the city administrator to work toward ensuring that Portland is well positioned to be awarded a team by the league. City officials say the South Waterfront is one of the last remaining large urban redevelopment opportunities in the central city. One happy puppy is joining in on all the Halloween fun. Take a look. This adorable
centuries
clip of an Australian shepherd named Promise is showing how Promise is learning how trick-or-treating works. Promise helped her owner out by handing candy out to kids. Her owner says that they can't wait for trick-or-treating again this year. We apologize for the video mix-up there. We could tell you that Promise does have an Instagram account with more than 2 million followers. So there's that. Well, there is still time to experience Oregon's largest haunted attraction. The Scaregrounds at Oaks Park is where all the frightening fun is happening. Our Greg Nibbler got an inside look at what terror awaits visitors. You can view his full interview on our website, kptv.com, or you can experience the final nights of terror now through November 2nd. It's a night full of thrills and chills with 3 haunted houses, games, food, and more. Tickets are available at scaregroundspdx.com. That wraps up this special edition of the 6 o'clock news. We'd like to thank you for joining us. Make it a great night.
Thanks for watching Fox 12 Oregon News. Watch us live wherever you are on our website, our mobile, and our streaming news app. You can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.
Or interact with a ghost, we now know some